Hello, I am in Dubrovnik in Croatia, and today I will be visiting some monuments, fortress, churches, cathedral, old town, some statues. So let's explore.
But if it's a real problem, then fine. Yes, yes.
Right, I am at the old port in Dubrovnik. It's located at the eastern part of the city. Um, In the time of the Dubrovnik Republic, several forts protected the port: St. Luke Fort, St. John Fortress, and Revelin Fortress. Today, the port is a safe haven for many private boats of local citizens. There's a regular boat line to Lockrum Island, depart from the old port, as well as the boat lines to Cavatat, Melini, and the various sightseeing boat tours. These are some facts about Dubrovnik. It's claimed that the world's first commercial pharmacy was opened in Dubrovnik in 1317, and Dubrovnik was the first country, being a republic at the time, to banish slavery in 1416, and it had the first orphanage in the world, which opened its doors to take the children in 1432, and it has a medieval sewer system dating from 1296, which is still in use today. Dubrovnik's insurance law is the oldest in Europe, being validated in 1395, some 300 years before Lloyd's of London. The name of this square is Gundulic Square, and there is a bronze statue of a famous Dubrovnik poet. Is a work of sculpture dating from 1892. The base of the monument shows the main parts from poet's most famous work, Epic Osman. I'm coming to Jesuits staircase or Baroque stairs. It is similar to Spanish steps in Rome. It is perhaps one of the most recognizable point of interest in Dubrovnik. It is very same place where the most explosive episode of Game of Thrones was filmed. The stairs were severely damaged in the 1991 to 92 during the siege of the city.
Okay. Okay. Tomorrow.
Right, the building in front is called Collegium Ragusinum. It was the first college in Dubrovnik. Currently, it is a grammar school and a large library. The building on the right is the Church of Saint Ignatius of Loyola. It was completed in 1725 and is the largest house of worship in Dubrovnik. This grammar school has a library. The old library includes over 10,000 volumes of manuscripts by Dubrovnik writers.
Must have been 90 degrees. I walked in, I walked right back out.
Now I am walking in the streets of Dubrovnik. This area is outside of the city walls. Streets are narrow, houses are made of stone. There are a lot of steps going up and down, and this from the streets ending, steps going up and down.
Kako se dolazi? Ludo, a?
On October 1st, 1991, Dubrovnik was attacked by Yugoslavia National Army with a siege of Dubrovnik that lasted for 7 months. The heaviest artillery attack was on December 6th, with 19 people killed and 60 wounded. There is a lot of damage was done to Old Town, and it was repaired according to UNESCO guidelines, and repair was performed in the original style. Most of the reconstruction work was done between 95 and 99. The inflicted damage can be seen on a chart near the city gate, showing all our artillery hits during the siege, and is clearly visible from the high points around the city in the form of the more brightly colored new roofs. Person who ordered this attack, he was born in Yugoslavia, and he was sentenced to 7.5 years prison term by the International Criminal Tribunal for the former Yugoslavia for his role in the attack. This is the ice cream shop, and the ice cream only cost €1 and it is quite cheap.
Aqui temos o centro histórico, a lista de tudo mais importante.
This is the Church of the Holy Annunciation in Dubrovnik. The church has a valuable collection of icons, some of them dating from the 15th and 16th century. The church sustained damage from bombing during the siege of Dubrovnik. In 2009, the church was restored using funds from the Ministry of Culture of Croatia, City of Dubrovnik, and private contribution and credit. This was the first restoration of the church. I think these pictures are of a siege of Dubrovnik, a military engagement. It was military engagement fought between the Yugoslav People's Army and the Croatian forces defending the city of Dubrovnik and surrounding. A boy statue at the Pile Gate. Right, this statue of drinking water, it's called Pan and Nymph Fountain. So that's the name of the fountain, and I think it's there since 1900. I am walking further up, and I will come to a terrace. From this terrace, I can see Adriatic Sea, the seaside, the walls, Dubrovnik city walls, and there's a beautiful view from this terrace looking down and around. The fortress on the left is called Bokar Fortress, and the fort is located on the southwestern part of Dubrovnik city walls. Bokar was conceived as the key point in the defense of the Pile Gate, the western fortified entrance of the city. It was designed and mostly built during the 1460s by an Italian architect considered to be one of the great Renaissance pioneers. Bokar Fortress is one of the world's finest examples of fortification architecture, and it was built to defend the western entrance to the city of Dubrovnik. In fact, it was the key defender of the strategically vital Pile Gate. And the build was completed in 1570 after a century of debate to decide whether it should actually be finished. This is Pile Bay and Game of Thrones filming location Pile Gate, and several scenes have been filmed at Pile Bay. Right, the fort in the front, it's called Lovrijenac Fort, and I'm walking steps to get to the fort. And there's another name for this fort is Saint Lawrence Fortress. Is a fortress and theatre outside the western wall of the city, famous for its place and importance in resisting Venetian rule. Lovrijenac fortress has a triangular shape with three terraces. The thickness of the walls facing the outside reach 12 meters, whereas the section of the walls facing the inside, the actual city, are only 60 centimeters thick. Two drawbridges lead to the fort, and above the gate there is an inscription. It means freedom is not to be sold for all the treasures in the world. Lovrijenac, used as a stage, was a recent addition to the history of the fort, and the performance of Shakespeare's Hamlet has become the symbol of Dubrovnik Summer Festival. In 1979, the city of Dubrovnik joined the UNESCO list of World Heritage Sites. It is a city on the Adriatic Sea in southern Croatia. It is one of the most prominent tourist destinations in the Mediterranean Sea. Its total population is 42,615. Now I am walking back to my hostel from the old town. It takes 30 minutes walk to my hostel. These are local sweets, a store next to my hostel. This is the end of this video. To find out more about Dubrovnik, see the next part.